Okay, well, I will probably do a more detailed video on this actually, because with professional garden lighting installers, they will install 12-volt lighting or 24-volt lighting. What they won't install is mains voltage lighting. Now, don't get me wrong, we still have to run an armoured cable around the garden. We still have to have that as mains voltage, but we then connect transformers. And from those transformers out, everything is what we call extra low voltage. Even if you have your double socket in the garden, yes, it is mains voltage. It's in an IP socket, specifically bought. It's protected by an RCD, and you would plug your transformer into that if you're a landscaper. Now, with the two different series, you have series wired and you have parallel wired. With series wired, the big advantage with series wired is that the cable size can be very small and you can run very long distances. The disadvantage is that if there's a break anywhere in the system, you will lose all the lights on that system. The parallel wired, the route we went down, now this means that the further distance you run, the bigger the cables you have to have, because they're constant voltage and it's the current that varies, and it's the current in a cable that determines how big it's got to be. The advantage of a parallel wired system is that if you've got 10 lights fed from a transformer and the cable going to the last light gets cut or eaten through by a rodent, you'll only lose that one light and nothing will trip. If you come back 5 lights, so you've got the transformer, 5 lights, then another 5 lights. If the cable break is in between light 5 and 6, anything after light 6 won't come on because it's been broken. In a series wired system, any break would take all those lights out. So you can now imagine you've got a garden, you've got 200 lights, you've probably got 10 transformers, and the client phones up and says 3 lights aren't working. Now straight away, you know that's going to be rodent damage, because you know when you fitted that job out that you have a transformer that serves 20 lights. If there's only 2 that's not working, the chances are that cable's going to be cut or you're going to have rodent damage on those 2. So you can zoom very quickly into the area. You can go to the 2 lights that aren't working. You can trace that cable back to the last light that is working, and the chances are the break is in that cable. So there are other variants to this. For example, if we turn up on a job and there's 20 light fittings that aren't working, we're going to think of 2 things. Either the transformer's blown, which is very rare, or the break or the damage in the cable is from the transformer to the first light fitting. So again, we're into this garden. We wouldn't be looking at those 20 light fittings. We would go straight to our connection box and we'd look at our transformer. And all we would simply do is undo the cable from the output side of our transformer, and we would plug a light into that transformer that we know works. If the light comes on, then we know the transformer's fine, and the damage has to be between that point and the first light. And so we would look at that, and you'd often find rodent damage, or you'd find where a maintenance guy has gone through it with a spade or something. If we was to plug that light into the transformer and that light didn't work, then the transformer's blown. If you come back to us and say the transformer's blown, the first question we ask you is, what is the wattage of lights and what is the wattage of the transformer? As long as the wattage of lights is underneath the rating of the value of the transformer, we will replace that transformer free of charge in that 3-year period. It doesn't matter to us if it's been there 3 years, 2 months, 3 months. We're still going to honour that warranty period. Obviously, if you've got 60 watts of lighting and you've only fitted a 12-watt transformer, then you are going to have to pay to have that transformer, because that's not a fault of the product, that's a fault of the actual unit being overloaded. So parallel wired, you have to run larger cable sizes. We've taken care of that. Fault finding is made very simple, and it's a very simple system to extend.